Hello, hello, and welcome to the Book Buzz Show. I am your host, Sheryl Brooks. And if you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you enjoy the broadcast, the upcoming show, please like, follow, and subscribe and share the broadcast. Be much appreciated so others can enjoy it as well. And for those of you who are new here at the Book Buzz Show, we do talk about the books and the characters, but we don't give any major spoilers, not anything that'll ruin the book for you. Um, also, for those who are new and don't know, in addition to being a live stream broadcast, the Book Buzz Show now is also a podcast. So you can check us out at the Book Buzz Show with Sheryl. Wherever you get your podcast, it's available. And then make sure to go and follow us at our podcast platform so you can catch us whenever you're on the go. And the book that we're discussing tonight, let's see, is A Perfect Pairing by Sheryl Lister, who is my guest tonight. And before I bring on my guest, let me give you a little background on her. All right. Sheryl Lister is a multi-award-winning author and has enjoyed reading and writing for as long as she can remember. She is a former pediatric occupational therapist with over 20 years of experience and often says she played for a living. A California native, Sheryl is a wife, mother of 3 daughters and a son in love, and a grandmother to 2 special boys. When she's not writing, Sheryl can be found on a date with her husband or in the kitchen whipping up delicious meals and desserts to satisfy her inner foodie. And I could tell in this book because there was a lot of food and had my mouth watering, so I can't wait to discuss it with her. So without further ado, I'll bring on my guest for tonight, Sheryl Lister, and my guest co-host, Katina Brown. Welcome, ladies. Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
Inviting me.
And Sheryl, before we get started, can you let everyone know a little about your writing journey as far as when you started writing professionally and what type of books you write?
Okay. Let's say actually I've been writing all my life for the most part, but as a published author, last month, August marked 9 years as a published author, 35 books in, and I write romance, romantic suspense, and we'll be branching into women's fiction coming in January. So
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it. And can you tell us a little bit about the book, this book, and the last book in the series, what they're about?
Oh, let's see. So I lovingly call this my supper club series because it's surrounding girlfriend fun, sisterhood, wine, food, and music, and all the favorite things that I write in every single one of my books that I say that I'm not going to put in there again. All of that. So this one gave me carte blanche to have my music and my food, which was wonderful. So it's just surrounding this small town of Firefly Lake, where these girlfriends get together every couple weeks or once or twice a month to dish up on life and love and and everything in between. And so the first book was A Table for Two, and it was featured Serenity, who is the mastermind, the master cook of the group here.
Right.
So it's her and Gabriel Cunningham, who was the brother of the young woman her friend who actually gave the name Serenity Supper Club.
Okay.
So, and this book here is book 2, and it features Natasha Baldwin and Antonio Hayes, who is a second chance romance where they were high school sweethearts, broke up, and he moved back to town, and wasn't as friendly when he first came back, but they worked through it, and kind of hard when everybody's still, those long time lingering first love feelings.
Right.
Lord.
If you had to describe the characters, how would you describe Antonio's character?
Listen, 6'4", brown skin, fine as all get out, and gray eyes, body to die.
Yes, I was looking at
Yes, and yes.
And what about
Base
Natasha?
material. That's all. That's what we got with it right there.
What about Natasha's character? How would you describe her?
I would describe her. She's what I say she was. She's about 5'6". She has like that dark, nice honey brown hair, got a little haircut, just a little bob right below her ear, kind of, and she has a little sass to her, and which she didn't have when she was growing up. So it's refreshing to see that she's kind of growing into herself, even with some lingering insecurities, but she's that one, yeah. My interior designer of everything. So
did you have any like inspirations as far as the characters, any celebrity inspirations or anything that you went by as far as what did you had in your head when you were writing about them?
Actually, no, I didn't. It's just typically I think when I start writing the books, then I already kind of visualize what they're going to look like. So when I actually, before I even start the story, I know what they're going to look like, how their height, what they look, their hair, their skin coloring, eyes, body type, kind of some of their, their personality types. Whereas like she's a little bit more outgoing, and she's kind of got a little sass to her. Right. Antonio's struggle on the forgiveness parts of it. He's more quiet, laid back, not trying to be in the spotlight type of thing. So yeah, so I do all of this. Usually I have all of that in mind before I even start writing. So you can see.
Now, do you do like an outline of the characters, or you just have it all in your head?
It's kind of a both of those things.
Okay. And so keeping
general outline, not super specific.
Okay. Right. So in keeping with the description and the characters and all, is Firefly Lake real?
Oh no.
Or is it like
I wanted it to be real too.
I didn't pick the name. I didn't pick the name.
Okay.
I wasn't thrilled with the name. So I guess I shouldn't be saying that out loud. But
okay.
Anyway, I wasn't actually. I wasn't. It just sounded too cutesy to me. I had other.
I love it.
I know I had a couple of other friends like, "What's her name?" And I'm like, ugh. But the beauty of it, because it's a fictitious town, I can put it where I want it, which I did. Put it when my fictitious town is located about 30 minutes from Napa, so you get a little bit of the wine country kind of thing, and the Bay Area and Sacramento. So I get all my area up and down the corridor. So and you even get Lake Tahoe on this one. So all the way east and west, it's like from east to west, we're rolling in here. So it gives me an opportunity to build my town the way I want it. So if I want to have a name of a restaurant here, I want to have, like Brenda's Bake Box, who is just the place where they go get the bakery. So I get the chance to name, and fix my town the way I want it to be, which is always a great thing.
That was one of the things I was going to ask you, because you mentioned the names of some of the restaurants that they were at, and I was going to ask you if they were real locations.
Nope. It's me literally going in there, like business names, ideas, and you would be so surprised at some of the crazy names that I came up with. And they're actually business. Like, oh, are you kidding me? It's like that takes like 30 minutes. It's like 30 minutes just to get like Brenda's Bake Box for that name. Like, all the names I kept going through. So it's tough. That's the hard thing. So,
right.
I
can imagine. But you did a good job with it.
Great job.
Now into the book, I have to tell you, I love the idea, and I thought about this in the first book as well. I love the idea of a supper club that the friends do for those who haven't read the book yet. It's a supper. They named the supper club after one of their friends who, Serenity, that does a lot of cooking. She enjoys cooking. And they get together like bi-weekly. I mean, is it bi-weekly? Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, yeah.
To have these fantastic meals that have my mouth watering. I'm telling you, I said, please do not. I'm warning you, do not read this on an empty stomach, because I was growling. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I need me some strawberries.
I make everything that she's in there. She's cooking. I've done.
And see, that was one of my questions because I know you love to cook.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, have you made these recipes?
I have.
Okay.
Those little lamb chops that they were talking to snap. I was like,
Yeah.
bite it and go. Kind of, yeah. Those things. I've pretty much done all of those. Yeah. And the strawberries, I always make, the chocolate dip strawberries, have a crazy story. One year I decided, it's like, oh, you make them, these are so good. You should, sell them. I'm like, okay. Pass out a little flyer to my neighbors and people around me, and I was in something. Listen, we will never do that again. It's too. That one weekend for Valentine's Day, 250 strawberries I dipped and 150 truffles by myself. I was like, I don't want to see strawberries, truffles ever again. So needless to say, that didn't happen again. We didn't do that again because that was a mess.
You know what? I can believe it though, because I'm a lover of chocolate covered strawberries. Now I haven't had the champagne infused.
No. See what happened? I've eaten it. I don't like chocolate. Okay, that's a confession. Shh, y'all don't hear. I don't like chocolate, so I don't eat chocolate. I just make all this chocolate stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I just make it. Yeah, even the little cups, the molded cups where she has like those. That was an experiment way back, and I made them and. They were for like our Christmas Eve. We usually have family over, and I just made I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try this cool little thing I want to do. Did it? Those little cups were gone in less than 5 minutes.
I believe
there was about 20 of them on that little tray, and they were like gone. And the strawberries. I've eaten the strawberry plain with it infused with the champagne and the whiskey, without the chocolate on it. And I was like, oh, this is potent, but it's good though.
I'm gonna have to.
If you don't like chocolate, what I will do is, yes, I'll dip them. For people who don't like chocolate, I'll dip them in like the what is it? The sugar. It's the milling sugar. It's the sugar that sprinkles that you get. It's soft enough where it's a little bit coarser, but it's not hard soft. So it doesn't crunch so much. So you get a little bit of the crunch and the sweetness, but not that hard crunch to it. So I do that because my middle daughter, she doesn't like chocolate. So I've done that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely have to get with you so I can find out how to do that.
Well, the rest there are 2 recipes in the back.
Oh yeah.
So I wrote them down. Don't worry.
That's one of the things that I love. My grandma used to make is the hot water cornbread.
Yes.
And I never have made it, so I said I'm definitely going. So you have the recipe in there. I'm definitely going to try it out.
Yeah. I love that recipe because I've seen some. Hey sis, hey Jennifer. So I've seen some recipes, and they're just looking. I'm like, that's not how that looks. My kids are like, Mom, stop giving away all the good recipes. First the vanilla crisp in a table for 2, and now you're trying to give me bread. And I have to say that the cornbread has to be pretty decent because I remember making it for one of my. I was in a church group, our mission group years ago. And we had an older couple that usually helped made desserts when we, did our stuff. And then we had our Christmas gathering. And so the wife, she's like, who made this hot water cornbread? And I was like in the corner, like, And everybody, they were all like, and I'm like, ooh, okay. And she looked me up and down. She said, you young, you don't know nothing about no hot water cornbread. How you know about this? Cornbread since I was 8. And come to find out, her husband did not like cornbread, but he had 3 pieces of it.
Okay.
I was like, okay, it must be all right.
We have someone, a Facebook user, and saying they love champagne infused chocolate strawberries.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to the description, you can click on the link to give StreamYard permission to show your image if you want us to know who you are, Facebook user. All right. And Rhea, hello, Rhea.
Hey, Rhea.
And say you must have a snack nearby when you read it. That is definitely the case.
That should have been in the beginning of the book. It said, get you your snack first before you turn this page.
Like they usually put the triggers in to that where it should have been.
Maybe I should ask the publisher to put that on the description on the retailers.
Right.
So that way they can say trigger warning. You might want to get you some
Hi,
food
Jennifer.
Angela.
Angela saying she is here for the Supper Club events. Yes, me too,
No, they
Angela.
are
Definitely.
fun, and I have to admit, I have done that. And I think when I was thinking about this, um, writing these stories, and they were talking about centering them around friends, I was thinking about a couple of my girlfriends who,
Right.
we've moved away from each other, so we don't see each other, a lot, but we were able to meet up when one came here to visit her son in California. And so the two of us are all still here in California in different places, but we met up in the middle where she was, drove down there, had spent the weekend in the hotel. Had a little girls' weekend, drove to Napa, laughed on the sidewalk, the whole, so it was the same kind of supper club vibe and we created our own. So it was just remembering and doing those things. I love doing that. So
Yeah, I love that idea. And I used to entertain a lot over the years, but I like this particular idea. So I'm gonna have to try it out with some friends and some family members
yeah,
on a regular
yeah.
basis. I love it.
Okay, you better watch out though, because then it'll be like, hey.
Right. Like
literally that it kind of started that way because like I said, I did it for Christmas Eve. We used to have family over,
right.
and I did it, I did it like in 2006, just because my mom was starting to, not be well, and I figured it might be my last Christmas with her. So I wanted to do something special. So my husband's family was here. My mom came up, his family. And so we were all here. And I did this whole appetizer party type deal with, bite-sized desserts kinds of things, like she does. And my mother-in-law was like, oh, this is so good. So this is an annual thing, right? It was like, wait, what? It did it for almost a decade.
Oh my goodness.
Every year for Christmas Eve.
Huh?
Ooh, okay, that's all right.
I think the key to it is that you have to have people that can really cook, because even in the book, Natasha was like, I'll bring the napkins,
Dana's the one like, well, I'll make you a drink, but
right.
Right.
And she's like, I'm basic.
Although Natasha did make the chicken and shrimp fajitas.
She did.
Simple. And you saw that she did her shortcut peach cobbler.
Right.
Nobody got time for making no crust. And
right. Angela said she liked how they themed the supper club. Yeah, I do too. I like that too. That how they had to theme different things for it.
Yeah, because she loves the decorating. So she's the one who's like, well, what kind of tablescape you want today? What do you want? Simple? You want to have it elegant? What are we doing? Yeah.
And like I was saying, you did a great job with the food descriptions, had my mouth watering. And I was going to ask Tina, what was one of your favorite things that Serenity or one of the others prepared?
I think it was was it the last one they did? It was the one when she made the mac and cheese.
Oh, the Sunday dinner.
She wanted to do like a Sunday dinner.
Yeah.
Chops, mac and cheese, green collard. Yeah, with the hot water cornbread that had to be made.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Was that? I think that was the one that Antonio came to. Was that the one, or what? I can't remember.
I think that was the last one, and where the surprise,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that one.
But wait a minute, girl. So you know what I went and did? You know what I went and did?
Didn't find out what happened at that dinner because it was a old school Sunday dinner.
Yes,
check it out.
Yes.
So I had to go get some. Right, I didn't have time to cook it, so I went and got some the pork chops and the mac and cheese and the greens. I said, look what Sheryl Lister has started. I said, and I already got my list of all the different things in there that I'm gonna have to try, to make. I said, I can't wait to let you know how it turns out.
Oh yeah, you have to definitely let me know.
Yeah, and Jennifer says she the person that brings the road to the drink.
I know that's right.
Oh, come on, Jennifer. I know you could cook, girl. Come on.
She bring the good drinks though.
Natasha, so Brenda, are you saying that I got the basic food for you? No muss, no fuss, ain't nothing special.
She said she Natasha. Oh my goodness.
Love it.
Good evening. I was saying if you want to show your face, you can go to the description and just click on the link to get permission. and then it'll show your face and your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Oh my goodness.
I love
Let's see. What is since we know that you like to cook, what is one of your specialty dishes?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'm probably not the person to ask that. My family is probably I should ask them what's my specialty.
What do they request? What do they? You have the most requested? Say everything.
Whatever. The sad thing is that because like when my kids were younger, we go on vacation and we went to this resort and they had a full kitchen. Oh, good. So now we don't have to eat it. For mom can cook. So basically, that's what happened. I have worked myself out of restaurants because I can do it here at the house, and they say I do it better. So
Right.
Oh.
But I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't have a specialty. I don't think. But if you go to book events, you ask folks, they'll say my brownies.
Okay.
Those same brownies that were in a table for two.
Okay.
Got chucked across.
I'm gonna need that recipe too.
Now
that was the one that Gabriel.
We're not giving that up. We can't get it. We can't get a brownie.
Can't get that one up.
No, we can't get a brownie.
Jennifer says she can cook, but it's not like her mama and her auntie.
You know what? I hear you, Jennifer. Although, my mom, she would tell anybody. She used to tell me all the time when I was about 16, say, "Girl, you could cook better than me by the time you were 16." I don't know where you got that from, because she could cook. My mom could cook, but she always said that she don't know where I got the whole cooking gene from.
She probably did it because she had to. It wasn't.
But she could throw down in the kitchen. But I don't know what But I just I love cooking, and I think that's pretty much yeah. I just do love experimenting and playing around. That's what happened because I'm a crafty person in any way, so I love to do crafty type things. So when it comes to, I used to make bath and body stuff, from lotion, shower gel, soap, bath bombs, to all that. And it's like, okay, you need to stop doing all this extra. So
stick with the cooking, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But I still can make it, but I'm just because I don't have time, because I'll get in there and it's like, be Frankenstein, and my husband's like, can you not buy nothing else in here experimenting with in the kitchen? Yeah. Because it's like all over the place.
Right. And Sharon is saying that her dad always says, whoever can't
cook, bring ice. Right. Look, you own ice over here. So,
right.
I can bring some. No, we got you down for ice, huh?
Right.
Yes, Sharon, the brownies.
Yeah.
So I had my sister, she can't cook, and we would say, well, you bring the soda and then the ice, but she would always bring like these off-brand sodas.
Oh, so
you gotta take it off
ice now, huh?
I know, yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Ice drinks are paper products, huh, Angela?
So you notice they
yeah, they do. Yeah, you're right, Jennifer. They do.
Rhea is saying when you're to cook, your favorite dish is the one you are currently doing. Yeah.
You know what? Probably. Probably.
And whoever the Facebook user is says she's the ice queen. Oh my goodness. Now, we were talking about this earlier about you putting a couple of recipes in the book, and I was going to tell you that I need the recipes for that glazed salmon and the crab cakes and stuff too. That was it.
Okay. Glazed salmon. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do with the salmon?
Wasn't it it was what kind of glaze?
Was it the brown sugar glaze one?
I think it was it brown sugar?
I think so.
It was something like that. I know it sounded good, whatever it was. I'm going to have to go back.
Might have been the brown sugar glaze one, if that's what it is, but I can't remember. Listen. Actually, that recipe is actually from my cousin who's a chef.
Okay.
So there's that.
Okay. All right. What else I love about the book? I love books and stories that have strong sisterhoods and brotherhoods. So this had it in spades, and I love the sisterhood between Natasha and her friends and their strong bonds. But I also like that you started the guys forming a brotherhood too.
That was awesome.
Yes, and I think we don't always get to see the friendship surrounding with Black men.
Right.
And so in both of these books, I really wanted that to shine. And in book 3 that I'm writing right now, you'll see more male friendships, and yeah, it's gonna be deeper.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've noticed even with and I love this, by the way, when you brought in Lorenzo and Cedric and their spouse.
Oh, that's right. Huh?
Yeah, and they formed another group.
My Hunter series. Yeah. I was like, ooh, guess who his friends are? Hello.
right. And we even got a mention with Brandon and Malcolm, I believe it was. Yeah,
You just get a little mention. So from the Grays of Los Angeles. Yeah.
Now, what do you like about writing small town living? Anything that draws you to it?
I think when writing small town, like you said, I think because I can build my own world.
Yeah.
You know, and it's nice to be able to build your own world sometimes. Because if I said it, here in Sacramento, y'all will be like, that is not exactly, you can add your fictitious stores and things like that, but there is, oh girl, no, Angela, like nope.
Angela, I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, that's next on the horizon, huh?
Just saying.
Oh,
Just saying.
And the problem is that now that she said that, my little brain is gonna be all up in the top there. And be like, you don't have time for that. You don't hear that. Just put it away. Just know. Angela out here about them starting trouble.
Right.
But no, continuing with building the town. So I love being able to just build everything from the ground up, because I can just have like the fun things there. But then it's also with small towns, it's the community aspect of it. Because in big cities, you can't be in everybody's business like that. Because you in LA, you can walk by, you don't see somebody for weeks. And you be like, oh girl, where you been? Here, as you see in all these stories, a little kiss on the cheek turned into a little rock and some other stuff. Dog on their proposal by the end of the day. So
yes, and the gossip mill was strong in the small.
It was.
And it was hilarious too, especially with Natasha's mother and her
all the way from not even in town.
What I found was funny was that with the kiss on the cheek.
Oh yeah.
It took 10-15 minutes between driving home.
Right.
For everybody to know about it. I was like, wow.
Text. His mom was all, so I heard that y'all was kissing.
Right.
Drops off his grandmother. He drops off his grandmother, and she already has the goods. Her mom's calling from across the town.
He said, why did I have to hear this?
And you know what I loved about that was, speaking of the grandmothers, they were so unapologetically just.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's like when you get to that age, you are, because you live life long enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my husband's grandmother. I remember we were out together, whatever, and they were like, "Mom, you can say." She said, "I'm 7." What was she? I think she was 70. I'm 78 years old. I could say what I want to say.
Exactly.
And so, and I just kind of remember my grandmother being the same way. It's like, you get to a certain age, I'm gonna say what I want to say, how I want to say it, and you'll be all right. Like it. So just so you know, those grandmothers will be back in this.
Oh, good, because I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
them.
Mama Nora will definitely be in there. Her little, when I started writing, I just had Mama Nora, but I did not know that it was going to be that kind of emotional kind of thing rolling up in that book with those scenes. I was like, wait a minute, that is not how this was supposed to go. But, the characters usually tell me what they want to say.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, I love both of the grandmothers. Jennifer is saying you could create a small town close to Sacramento.
I could. That's why. Well, it just still get driving distance. It's about a couple hours from Sacramento. So he coming in there.
Sharon is saying that she got excited when the grade.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Anything.
So they may show up again. They may show up again.
Yeah, I hope so. Because I like
The
that.
hunters will definitely make a small appearance in this
Okay.
next one because you know what they were doing in the
Right.
last one, so they have to come for the
Right.
right.
And I love
You're
that.
getting a lot. You're not getting a lot of them. You just
Just okay.
that's it.
Now, is Andrea going to still appear? Or is she still gonna
Yeah.
be part of the group?
She's still part of it. She may appear, but because this story that's taking place is going to be around Christmas, so
Okay.
it'll be around Christmas time. So you may get to see Andrea come back a little bit for a little Christmas visit and a
Good.
supper
Because I was
club
wondering
meet.
about her. Yeah.
Yeah, and a little supper
Their
club meet.
fifth,
So
their
she
fifth
will pop
girl.
back in on a visit. She'll be home for the holidays for a little bit.
Okay, good. And Sharon is saying she loves small town because of the nosiness.
Look, I bet she was. Look, Sharon, if you wouldn't be saying that if they was in your
Right,
business.
right,
You ain't lying.
Like now, will you feel the same way if it was
Right.
your business?
Right. And Ola is saying the kiss on the cheek turned into the lip lock of the century.
Exactly.
All
Like in
of
15
it.
minutes. And then when she went back, she said, Miss Bernice, can you please make sure to just tell the truth this time?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like she could have just said, I won't call at all, but that was not happening.
Mm-mm.
I love
Yeah,
Mama.
I love Mama Nora too. And
Yeah.
and then these grandmas are something. Yes, they are.
I
But
love grandmas. I
they
love grandmas.
also gave their wisdom throughout the book, so I like that too.
Yes. So
Mhm.
look, there's gonna be some more of that wisdom dispensed
Good.
coming up.
And we were talking about off camera our love of music, and I know when you put the music in, I went and I listened to the song that you had mentioned, and then it put me. I was able to visualize the actual singing. So I love that aspect of it too.
Yeah, when they get together and they start singing, it's like, oh, lead us.
Yeah. I was grooving right along with them.
That is literally my friends and I. We do that, still now, even, we older than the 30s, but we still do that. We cut up. I mean, I remember us in a restaurant one time. So like I said, we went to a restaurant and, one of those restaurants where they come around your table and want to sing, whatever. And so one of my friends and I, we both sing. And so the guy was like, oh, you sing? She goes, yeah. So the two of us literally belting out lyrics of songs in the restaurant because he was singing to all the tables and he asked, well, do you have a request? And because we were sisters, he decided to break out in a gospel song. And me and her and was singing Walk With Me, Lord.
I love it. And what about you, Tina? Did you try out any of the songs that were mentioned in the book?
I did. I mean, because I remembered some of them, especially during the dancing with Antonio and Natasha. So that was yeah, I did the same thing. I always do that every time I read.
I do too. I
always do that.
I usually make a playlist of sorts, a little bit of a few songs that kind of have inspired me along for the story. Yeah, but this one they end up all in the book anyway. So
right. Now, what song do you have on repeat on your playlist right now?
Ooh. What song or what songs?
Song, right? Me too.
I don't know. There's a local artist who lives here in Sacramento, and it's one of those things. I think a few years ago, maybe 5-7 years ago, my husband, when we were listening to the radio, and they still had our nice little radio stations on, and they had featured this guy on here because he was going to be locally, performing at this place. And so my husband, they played a couple of his songs, and he said, hey, they heard they played this thing, and I got tickets. You want to go? I mean, if you don't like them, we could leave. I'm like, no, it's fine. We go to see this brother, and he is straight up R&B. His name is Joe Levy. Joe, and the last name is Leavy. And if you look him up on Facebook, it's under a guy named Joe Levy. And he just actually put a new album out. And so yesterday it was blasting in my house the entire album, and it is like a no skip, straight up R&B, jazzy R&B kind of vibe, and it is grown
Okay.
folks, positive, love, it's wonderful. So I have that, and then I also have my Ain't It Funky playlist when I just want to be running around. So I've always loved, because I love the singing. So
Right.
we went to see Naturally Seven, and I don't know if you've heard of them. And so these brothers, they sing. Not only do they sing, but their voices are the instruments as well. So they make their from trumpet to drums
Okay.
to harmonica to beatbox to scratching to all of it. Their voices are the song they sing, and they're the instruments. And
Okay.
so one of my little songs that I've been blasting is called Get Ready by them. So that one, and yeah, that's kind of my
And what's the name? What's their name again? The name of the group?
Naturally Seven. And so I have to give a shout out to Kay Young. Kay, was it Kay? What is her last name? Oh, Dennis. Kay Dennis. Because she knows that I love music. So she's tagging me. She says, hey, they're going to be in your area. I'm like, wait, what? Because they were like more in Germany. They're
Right.
not here a lot. So they were here in Napa.
Okay.
So that's where date weekend, like I said, when you don't see me writing, date weekend. That's where I was. So so I love them. So I have a nice little playlist, and it's kind of with them. I have him, and I have Bootsy's named the
Nice.
song with George Benson that he has. It's
Yeah.
Power of the One.
Okay.
It's Bootsy Collins' Power of the One. I have a little bit of Sonic Silk, Fly Like Me, Eric Darius have a song on there. Make love, not war. Yeah, so it's a funky list. Brian Culberson. Yeah, so it's like the heart, that funky lakeside. There's some lakeside,
Yeah.
You the one who got me into Boney James.
Really?
Yeah, so I have him all on my playlist now. Still.
Yeah, so I'll have him, and Jakeem Joyner is kind of one of my faves now too.
Okay.
Because I love how he has a couple of these songs. Because my husband, they always tease me and like, girl, you have some kind of Spanish, Latin something in your background. I do. I love Latin funk, so it's more of the, probably more of the Cuban, Puerto Rican, that side of it, because it's like funky. It just is.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. She said she loved when you incorporate the music in your story.
Oh yeah, I can't help myself. Every book I say, okay, we're not going to put music in this book. We're going to put food in here. There's food, there's music, there's dancing, there's singing, and there it is. So,
Ola said you got her listening to Boney James too, and Rita said
good. But you know what? I love being able to. I want you guys to support these folks that that are good, because some of these are they're underrated,
right?
And I just found another one. His name is Riley Richard. He plays saxophone. Just popped up on one of those things, and it's like start following, and I'm finding, oh Lord, this is the young man playing the sax. He's jamming over here. Okay. So you see him. Y'all see me featuring some more of these folks that are a little not as popular in my books. So that way, maybe you'll listen and enjoy them as well. So
yeah, definitely. I'm always looking for new artists. But I always go back to my old school R&B. That's usually my go-to. But now I noticed too in the book that there were several like touching and heartfelt moments throughout the book. And it was several that touched me. Man, I was like, I said, Sheryl gonna have me crying over these scenes. I'm telling you.
I actually cried when I was writing. If we're talking Mama Nora, a couple of Mama Noras.
Yeah.
I was sitting here trying to type, stifling, and like, relax, you're okay, just right,
Right.
So
now one of my favorite was between Antonio and his little niece Noelle.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was so cute.
Oh, when she spent the night.
Yes. That was so cute. And then she wanted to make sure that he had the picture that she made for him.
And how kids bring it to you and they put it right here.
Yes. Right up in your face.
Another heartfelt one for me was when Antonio's grandmother's birthday party scene.
Oh,
Yes.
whew.
Yes. Listen,
That was too much.
yes, I'm like, oh my goodness, that really was that was touching.
Yeah.
And I kind of like when he was like, I gotta go away for a second, I'll be right back. And then he came in the mic, I was like, oh no, it's gonna happen. And it was like, oh, it did. I was like, oh no.
yes,
The best moment. It was great. It was
and I think when I write the books, I want you to feel something, whether it's
God, it was good.
moments of sadness, moments of happy joy, fun, laughing moments, and then those deep, heartfelt, emotional moments like that. It's like I want you to have the range of emotions. I want you to be, just kind of everywhere with it. But at the end,
you definitely accomplished that.
Really,
But one of them too was, I thought was Antonio's emotional intelligence. I felt like he was in touch. He wasn't afraid. I mean, he had moments.
Yeah,
he was like
in the beginning, especially in the beginning,
like moments.
But once he understood it, he was able to, really, share his fears with her and just kind of bear it all out there,
In the she shed, in the rain.
Yes,
right. Yes, but you balanced like that could have been a very like scene that was so emotional and sad, but you also balanced it well with joy because there was some joyful moments too in the birthday party scene.
Oh yeah,
so it was a good balance.
Yeah, it was.
So I like that too. Sharon is saying she loved Noelle. She was so funny, so cute.
It was a mess, yeah.
And she had good parents. So.
Yes. And her, Mom, what's a such and such?
Right.
Great parents.
Who's time to exit stage left here?
Yes. Another scene that got me was with Antonio and his grandmother when they were coming back from visiting his grandfather. When she told him, basically to cherish.
Yes.
Cherish Natasha.
Yeah.
And that was a special moment between those two. And I think that's when he actually started listening to her.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, she said that was one of the first things she said to him. And in the beginning, he
wasn't listening.
Right.
Yeah.
Came back full circle.
Did. Yeah.
So that was touching.
She does love her uncle, doesn't she? Noelle loved her uncle.
Definitely, and I love that even though he wasn't living there at the time, that he always FaceTimed her, so she knew who it was.
Know him, because and I love that we have the technology, so that's possible. So these babies will still, even if you just pop in physically, that they still are talking to you every week, so they see your face, they hear your voice, they know that you love them and whatever. But then she was all like, hey, so I come to your house and look at it and I can spend the night. He's like, girl, you can't just invite yourself. Well, he was right? And what is he gonna say? No, I wasn't. Like, yeah, I was gonna ask her.
What was your favorite heartfelt moment to write? I know you said something about with Nora.
Yeah, the Mama Nora moments were, but also the she shed, the moments in the shed between Antonio, because that was that talk that they needed to have, that they needed to acknowledge all of those things that happened in the past and to clear that air, so they could move forward apart or together or however it was going to be, but it still had to have that moment of reckoning.
So, and I could relate to her because she was talking about how her insecurities basically led to that. And I love how you incorporated too the cell phones back then, where the minutes, you were worried about your minutes, going over your minutes and all of that.
It was funny because when I wrote it first in my in my thing, in my book. My editor's like, well, when she just sent him a text, I go, if this was 15 years ago, I said,
Yeah.
remember the phone, we didn't have texting back.
Right.
It was just, unless you had one of those plans, we didn't have that. It was like you meant. She says, "Oh, I really forgot about that." I'm like, that's why. Yeah, no, because I toyed with
you brought it all back because I remember that where you had to wait till the evening where it was free.
Yeah, it was after 9 o'clock, child. After 9 and weekends were free. Like people calling you, like, girl, call me back in 30 minutes after 9.
Right.
You can't be talking all day on these minutes.
And the roaming charges, I remember all of that.
Yes. I remember when we first got ours, it was like roaming to call downtown, which is like 10, 15, 12 miles. I'm like, I don't think so. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, we have come a long way.
Yeah.
Sharon says she laughs on her about the cell phone.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, me too, Sharon. Me too. Now, I'm going into the favorite scenes. There were a few for me. But for me, probably the Lake Tahoe trip was a top favorite, and it was for a lot of reasons. One being, I love the way you describe things and the way you did the description of the cabins and Natasha's reaction when she first saw them, and that they built the cabins, and then the scenic view, and I love too the building of the friendships between the couples at that time.
Yeah. Exactly. I didn't get a chance, word count. I couldn't show all. Those were things that have to get cut. Where you seen a little small scene with her interacting with Randy and Desiree. I would have loved to have been able to do that.
Yeah,
we're seeing where they're all out, or just one of those, but
too much.
Word count.
But you know what? You did a good job with the intimacy too between Antonio and Natasha when they were on that trip.
Fire.
And that made it one of my favorite scenes.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely. What about you, Tina?
I mean, I think it was one of those Mama Nora moments.
Okay, yeah.
Well, actually, I actually enjoyed the Miss Della and Miss Nora tag team.
Yeah, Gabriel was like my grandmother.
The funny thing, like when he was in the car and they were in the seat, like he wasn't even there. It was like they were just going on talking about him like he didn't even exist. It's just
answer the question. He thought, you know what? Let me just sit this conversation out. And then how Miss Della, how she just whipped the thing. Have you met my grandson Gabriel? Yeah. Right. Don't worry about it. Like you will meet him.
I loved it. I did.
I did.
I loved, but it also incorporated. I loved how respectful everyone was of them, and they honored them and reverenced them. It wasn't like
because they knew their history.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I love.
Yeah, I love that too.
Because when they say, well, when they went running him and Gabriel, and then she called, Miss Della called, Grandma said, she said, Nana called. He said, you tell her hi. He said, do you really want me to tell her? Right. Second call, never mind. Don't tell her.
Say, do you really want me to open it up that can of worms?
And then she's so, and I loved also one of my favorites was when Gabriel paid back the favor.
Take
the lunch, and he said, "Hey, you should invite him to one of the supper clubs."
Yeah,
he was mad at him, and she's looking at her. Why would you invite him? So it's kind of a pay. You're doing the same thing.
And I love how they, and this started in the first book, how they basically made Gabriel an honorary member of the supper club.
Because he gave her in the kitchen, too. So that was that.
Yeah, him and his fried chicken.
Yes. That's right. For that.
Now the scenes is the next book that's gonna be with Terry, or can you say?
It'll be Terry and John.
Yay!
So in the first two books, you get the hints that all is not exactly. Right. So, and you got a little bit more of it in this book.
And I'm intrigued. I want to know.
There's some reasons that I was like, oh Lord, what are their reasons going to be? And one of those 3 a.m.s. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not too much to try to write. Oh no, really? Why y'all have that kind of issue?
I cannot wait. I can't
So that's
wait.
what it's going to be, that kind of issue. So it's not, I can't remember, it's fall of next year when it comes out. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
That should be fun.
Now the scene with Antonio's ex at the parents' house and then at the restaurant.
Well, that got toned down too. So
Really? Because I was wondering if that was.
I can
y'all
tell.
were waiting for the drop kick. Y'all were waiting for him to say a little bit more, and if it to be a little more, a little higher,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Originally it was, and there was a few more reasonings behind why she was acting like she, wanted to come back there.
Because that's what I was. Because that was my. I said, it's something motivating her besides.
Right.
Is one to reconcile. Something's going on.
So listen,
Mhm.
I'm here, and if you're listening, they're gonna get a little drop bit. She was looking for a promotion. she was up for promotion. That was what the thing was that had to get cut. And the particular company where she was at, looked more favorably on folks who were married because they felt like they were more
That makes
trustworthy.
sense.
They did
Right.
they weren't as flirty around the office type. So hey, what better way to do it than to come back? Yeah, so that there was a whole scene, there was a whole extra, that whole scene in the living room was a
Makes
little more tense initially. And there
Okay.
was a little phone call between him and a buddy from back in New York who, okay, what's the realio dealio? Why she over here?
Right. Now another one that I need her to go away. Kathleen.
Go.
And I was wondering, why is she still there? Why is she not
right? Well,
Right.
She got encouraged to take some time when she came back.
Like what?
Yes.
When she ate, listen, with them strawberries, I was like, really?
I said Tasha had some restraint because I probably would have grabbed her and like.
you saw that she had to leave up out of there before she did, right? So it was like, ooh, let me get up out of this office before I.
Ooh, she was good. She handled it really well.
She did because I'm telling you, it would have been a different situation with me. I'm like, oh my goodness, we both would have been fired probably. But
yeah, see, yeah. Now, had that been an indie book, one of my indie books, listen, snatched on the real. She'd have been snatched.
Yeah, Sharon, I agree with you. I wanted to smack her too.
Like take all my frustrations that I can't put in these and
right.
put them in indie books. So going over there to my indie book and you can see the snatch scene where it was gonna be Lori going over to Choose Me and you see that somebody got snapped in Choose Me. So I was like, somebody somewhere about to be snatched, and so that's where it ended up.
Okay, so I have to ask you, what is up with the name Lori Metcalf? I said, wait a minute, that name sounds familiar.
Oh no, I don't know. It was just one of those pull it out the hat, and when I go down my list of names and put
that's
together.
an actress. I'm like,
is there?
It was a play on.
Dude, no. If somebody said, Lord, let me go in there and change his name so she don't think it's her. Nope. I didn't even know. It was like I just have like a list of first names, last names, and then you just like when you're writing the scene and you don't have a name, so you just open up the thing and you're just going down. Okay, so and so, last first name, and then you just drop it and keep it moving. That's what happens.
Okay. And I was wondering, I wonder, is there some kind of story behind that? But okay.
No. It's a bad moment. That's what that is.
One of the things that I liked too was Dana. Is that her name?
Oh yeah.
Her profession.
I love that too.
You don't see that often.
Yeah.
Like a mechanic. So
exactly.
that I love that. I love
and
that.
she's
the
orchestra player. I can't remember what she plays, but
yeah, she plays the piano. So
and
she gives lessons, and remember she was got to be gone a little bit because she was playing it.
Right.
She used to play, but she came home.
Okay.
And her dad in the garage, and so there's that.
Yeah, that's one of my things too. I love when authors give creative or unique profession.
Yeah, and see the problem with when I do that though, the research is.
Oh yeah, I can.
Yeah, so that's always the hardest thing because if I'm going to give somebody that profession, then I'm gonna have to research it if I don't know very much about it.
Right.
And then I start doing all these crazy things, and I'm like, girl, why Can you just right here so you don't have to be 30
Why
hours?
you putting yourself through
Every
this?
time you write, you gotta stop for 30 minutes because you got to go and look up something that you're trying to add in here that you don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that could be a headache though. But yeah, I love it though.
That's
And
great.
man, the time is flying. We're almost at our time. And one of the questions I always ask is, what keeps you motivated in your writing and in life?
Hmm. Well, okay, we'll answer the life one first. It's easy.
Okay.
What keeps me motivated is the fact that I have life. That God has blessed me with life. And so that
Yes.
keeps me motivated. The life and the love that's surrounding me is what keeps it going. When it comes to writing and books,
Mm-hmm.
it's things like this, interacting with you guys and with readers. And I get these emails or these messages just saying how much people enjoy the book or when something touched them in something. So, because it's a lonely profession, this is a kind of isolated thing. So you
Right.
have you got to find your writer sisters and brothers to keep you, to talk you off ledges and keep you motivated, and readers like you guys who actually, who read the books and review them and just, share your feelings about the book. So those little things that come in keep me really motivated, because it's like I can't do this without you guys' support. So I appreciate it more than I can say.
And we appreciate the stories that we get from you. Tina, did you have a final question or comment?
No, I think you guys, yeah, we went over so much. There's so much good stuff in here.
Yes.
Um, I did
Yes,
say I
I
think
truly enjoyed this.
it really was. There's so much you could dive into. I got excited though because we got a little more into Dana, and I felt like when she was like, "I'm going to leave," I was, "Oh, maybe look, the next book is about her." And so
Right.
I was
That's
like,
what I was thinking too. Yeah.
So
from a Nancy Ruth, yeah.
unless I can get another book on this contract, then she may not get a story, and I may ask if I can write her to the side if I can't get her
Yeah.
in there, because I would love to do her story too. Because
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a plot in mind already, literally.
Yes, especially since she keep making a comment about she's not interested in finding her forever,
because all her family live there too, and so she knows
right.
So it will be, and then she keeps. If you read the first book, how she's they've been complaining and talking about these brothers coming in there and mad. You really know what you're doing. I'm gonna need the man to check it because So I haven't decided. It might be somebody who's coming in for a piano lesson or bringing somebody for a piano lesson.
Let's do it.
And or bringing in and hello, it could be somebody passing through who just don't pass through and stay. I don't know.
Well, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And,
all of it.
It would be lovely to be able to give her a story, but right now, I don't know if she'll get hers. But I will. I know. I'm hoping. I'm gonna keep my y'all pray. Let's go and start saying those prayers right now. So
yes, and I'm looking forward to your book that's coming. That's the women's fiction you said, the one that's coming up.
Yes, it's No Reservations, January 9th. Totally different vibe, totally different. So it was almost like starting over brand new with writing, because I had to write it so differently than I normally write. So, and it's following 3 women who, are the besties, another sisterhood here coming, but all these women are challenged to take this girls' trip that they've been putting off when one of their other friends passes away. So she left them with this wish that they don't put it off anymore. But you got marriages crumbling, businesses being upended, single mom with issues, having a new man rolling into her life and insecurities with that. So it's a whole bunch going on.
I cannot wait. I'm excited to read it.
Yeah.
All right.
She's just looking like, what is this? What?
All right, and
in January. I know that's right.
And where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook, author Sheryl Lister, or you can find me I'm using Facebook or Instagram mostly. So Instagram is at Sheryl Lister. I may pop on, what is it, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. and at Sheryl Lister too. So keeping it
And I'll
simple.
make sure to put it in the description as well.
Yeah, and then my website is just www.sheryllister.com. You can find all the books listed there.
All right, sounds good. Hey, Midnight.
Hey, Midnight.
Hi, Midnight.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on the show. I love the book and I love the discussion. Thank you, Tina, for helping
Thank
out
you.
tonight.
Great talk.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I enjoyed talking and laughing with you ladies. Just let me know if y'all want to have like a little book club chat too. Just also, we can just do a whole book club real chat, get into spoilers in the know. So just let me know.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh yeah, and I forgot that. Thank you, Jennifer. Help us out. I have a reader group. It's a private group, and it's Cheryl's Sweet Spot. Ooh, see, that's why you need sisterhoods like that. See, that's why your sisters have your back.
That's right. All right. Thank you, everybody in the audience, for coming and participating and being engaged. I appreciate that. You made the time went by so fast because we were having such a good time. But, all right, everybody have a great evening, and Cheryl, I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Night.
Good night.